Well, hello and welcome to a new episode of Dagon Pack News. I have this week's funniest gaming news stories for you. In our first story, who doesn't love Doom? It's a classic, right? It's an absolute classic game. Super old game, right? But there is a programmer in California by the name of Foon Turing who has actually made Doom playable on a pregnancy test. Yes. Look at that. Is that not glorious, chat? Is that not glorious? I mean, what the fuck? What the fuck? I mean, it's wild, right? It's fucking wild. Like, what the hell? Now, this isn't the only thing playable on the pregnancy test. I'm gonna show you another game that's playable on the pregnancy test. And I want y'all to get, all of you in chat, and all of you in the YouTube comments, see if you can guess this. See if you can guess what this is before it actually shows up. So, looks like we're looking around somewhere. Oh, there it is. There it is. It's Skyrim. It's Skyrim on a pregnancy test. I think I can now safely say that Skyrim is playable on literally every platform ever. It's really interesting, right? It's like, so you can actually play Doom on a pregnancy test. All right. So it seems that a pregnancy test can actually convey Doom. And you can play Doom as well. You know, this is pretty cool. You know, but the guy's wife is going to be super pissed when she actually needs to use that thing, though. Right? Like, is that a boy or a girl? Well, sweetie, it seems to be some sort of demon. Like, I know that pregnancy tests aren't supposed to, you know, tell the sex of the baby, but I mean, shit, they're not supposed to be able to play Doom either. So it's like, I just want to know how you actually control the game. Like, it's a pregnancy test. Do you pee on it at different angles to shoot? Like, doesn't a pregnancy test mean you're doomed? See, Coob knows. Does the test tell me if I'm pregnant with a cat person? It absolutely does, Curry, but yes. Honey, you peed all over my Game Boy. So this next thing is fucking exhausting, chat. This next thing is just fucking exhausting. So Animal Crossing New Horizons, all right? We've had a lot of Animal Crossing news. Some of it has been fun. Some of it's been super weird. This one is just fucking annoying, all right? So starting on September 1st, the Biden campaign has made signs available for download in Animal Crossing via QR code. Yeah. Yeah, so you can actually have political campaign ads in your Animal Crossing world because, you know, that's definitely what we wanted. I'm pretty sure that Biden has absolutely no part in this. Like, really, though. Like, if you ask Joe about Animal Crossing right now, he'd probably tell you they're advertising at local zebra crossings. I'd be surprised if Biden has played any video game ever, apart from, like, maybe Farmville or maybe Pong, right? Actually, campaigning on Farmville might not be a bad idea, right? Facebook is basically just everyone's mom and aunt now. Old white ladies love Biden, all right? At least it's just Biden campaign signs and stuff, right? And not Biden himself, right? The last thing you want is a little Joe Biden character walking around your island sniffing women's hair. I do wonder, though, how Trump would respond, right? He'll try to target his own video games, probably, right? I'm gonna give y'all a really bad Trump impression now. We're gonna do Fortnite, okay? And Minecraft, all right? And Call of Duty Modern Warfare, okay? It used to be Old Warfare, but I updated it. I did that. It was me. It's gonna be the bigliest update ever. The bestest update ever. Old Warfare was a disaster before I came into it, okay? Either that or he'll complain about fraudulent video game voting. They got all these NPCs. There's like 1 million clones of each of them, and they're all gonna try to vote. Tom Nook is trying to rig this election. I wouldn't put it past Tom to rig it, though. Neither would I, Link. That's right up Tom's alley, though, isn't it? Star Fox got better ratings? So anyway, in our next story, the Esports Integrity Commission had 3 CSGO coaches from teams Hard Legion, Heroic, and MIRB suspended by the Electronic Sports League for terms of up to 2 years for using a glitch that enabled them to spectate games from anywhere on the map and relay information back to players without anyone knowing. They have actually decided to take a look at all other matches going back to 2016 to spot usage of this glitch to win official matches. It will take about 8 months to complete the inquiry. Cheating players have until September 13th to come clean during a confession period. Yeah. Players who don't confess and get caught can expect even more severe penalties when found out. Yeah. Now this is something. I've seen enough true crime documentaries to know that you never spill the beans about anything you've done until it is absolutely necessary. Police like to pretend they got some stuff on you, but they ain't usually got shit, all right? They don't got shit. They're just trying to get you to talk. I love how they call it a confession period, right? It's all very Christian. They should have like a virtual confession box, and you admit what you've done, and they say to you some prayers to the gods of video gaming, right? Like you have to say 3 Hail Peaches and 1 of our Mario, right? In the name of the Mario, baby Mario, and Luigi, amen. They're gonna get excommunicated by the Church of Esports. Exactly, Bob. Press 1 if you have a butt plug. I definitely do not have a butt plug. Like, for sure do not. There is a World of Warcraft player who spent 4 years refusing to sign up for the game's big wars. It's true. WoW player Skolix never completed the Legion expansion intro quests. He actually took issue with Sylvanas, the leader of the Undead Forsaken faction, from taking over the entire horde. This did actually make progressing in the game pretty difficult for them. They had to rely on side content to level up, but they actually did manage to level up their character. And because they stayed in this very particular point in the story, World of Warcraft has this phasing feature where, like, if you're in a particular part of the story, you're like phased out of the rest of the world, and like other players who are further along in the story can't see you and you can't see them. And so he existed in this phased state because of where they stayed behind in the story, right? So going around Orgrimmar, the banks were empty, the auction houses were empty. It's just really strange, right? So the Orc capital largely belonged to Skolix for about 4 years, as no one else was at that point in the story anymore. And the game actively hides players that are in different parts of the main story from one another in certain areas for story purposes. So it's just really strange. Like, wow, this guy takes role-playing very, very seriously, right? Very seriously. It's like, he's the type of guy you need to use a safe word with, right? Because you can yell all you want, but unless you say the actual safe word, he's staying in character, all right? And he's gonna keep whipping. So, you gotta be careful with their type. But, like, no, that is some serious dedication to role-playing one's character. Like, his character took issue with this one part of the story and just refused to progress. It's wild. Pineapple. Wait, what? What about pineapples? Oh, that's their safe word. I know Coop's safe word, chat. The only role-playing I've ever seen in WoW happens in Goldshire. And we all know what happens there, so... Anyway! I can't take y'all anywhere, chat. This is why we can't go out to nice places, okay? Crusader Kings 3. Crusader Kings 3 is a dynasty simulator, all right, where you play as a medieval era dynasty and you lead your family into greatness, right? Well, it's a very, very deep simulation, a very deep simulation with all sorts of systems all working together to give you this very complex simulation. One of the toggles in the simulation allows you to adjust the game's gender equality settings. Yeah, so in the default position, laws of the land and the tenets of the major religions all uphold a male-dominated society. But you flip that toggle to equality, all right? And the rules of inheritance, among other things, apply to women the same as they do to men. There's also an inverted setting, which flips the script and creates a pre-modern world where women lead and men sell them off like cattle. There's all sorts of toggles like this. You got not just gender equality toggles like this, but also sexual orientation. You can make it the default so that whenever you start up the world, the vast majority of people in the world are homosexual. You can make it so the vast majority are asexual. You can tweak it however you want. Yeah, the game is pretty LGBT friendly, right? It's just that, you know, the game title just really bugs me. You know, call it Crusader Queens and put RuPaul on the front. Then we'll be happy. So you can actually have equal distribution of sexualities amongst all leaders. Straight, bi, asexual. You know, I wonder what all the old wars would have been like if none of the leaders had any, like, conflicting sexual agendas, right? Like, I want to have sex with her. Yeah, well, I want to have sex with them. Okay, well, I don't want to have sex with anyone. And I'll have sex with anybody. It's like, yay, world peace. And then they all throw some 11th century confetti. In a related segment of news... Crusader Kings 3's best feature is that you can get so stressed out that you die. Yeah, can't we all fucking relate to this, chat? So Crusader Kings 3 has people plotting murder, seducing their cousins, and rebuilding Rome, but did you know you can get so stressed out that you die? Yeah. If you play your dynasty leader in a way that goes against his or her character, they will become increasingly stressed out. Yeah. Events in life can further stress out your ruler as time progresses, such as a death in the family, or getting stabbed in the back 69 times by your lover, and not even in a fun way. Having stress recognized in a medieval game, like, that's pretty cool, isn't it? Like, isn't stress a pretty new idea, like, in the last 100 years or so? Like, I think back then it was thought to be like a witch's curse or possession or something, right? This could be great for helping people in their real lives as well. Like, I come home from work stressed out, right? I put on Crusader Kings 3 and see that my leader's children have all been captured and executed. My lover's been poisoned, and my armies are all revolting. And my kingdom is like 3,000 gold in the red. And I'm like, wow, maybe my day wasn't really that bad. And we make the prisons kid-friendly. Well, considering I arrested no fewer than 3 children and threw them in prison yesterday, we probably should, huh? In our next story, No Man's Sky developer Hello Games has reassigned a large portion of its team to work on a brand new, large-scale game as ambitious as No Man's Sky. We don't know much about the new project aside from the fact that it is not a sequel to No Man's Sky. But what we do know is that we should not listen to a single word company founder Sean Murray has to say about it. A huge and ambitious game, huh? Well, Clearly, Sean Murray has not learned jack shit from his overhyping No Man's Sky fiasco. He hasn't even given any details, and it's already completely exaggerated. Like, Jesus, man, show some restraint. Like, for all we know, this could be like a doodle on a napkin in his back pocket, you know? The game is still in the very early stages of development, so if No Man's Sky's release is anything to go by, this new game should be released, probably next Thursday, and it should become playable maybe around 2022. In fairness to Hello Games, No Man's Sky is pretty good right now, even if it did have a bad start. It's kind of like the guy in a rom-com. It starts off pretty good, things are hyped, but then the real him shows up and turns out to be an asshole. But then later, he has a shower and a shave and redeems himself. No Man's Sky is basically Hugh Grant or John Cusack. Well, that's it for another episode of DPN. If you enjoyed this episode, definitely hit those like and subscribe buttons. And if you feel so inclined, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought. And if you have any stories that you'd like for me to cover next week, leave that in the comments as well. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.